Hello everybody. We're here live from Caraway Rug School. This is Lisanne Miller, and we're going to go through the Caraway Rug School rug show. So I'm going to flash up and let you see the Hollyfield Hall, and it's the auditorium here at Caraway Rug School where we actually have the rug show, the auction, our movie night, our French market. So I think this is going to be really wonderful. I am so glad to be here, and I'm so glad that some of you have already started to come on. So I'm going to start because it is the time and we have a lot of people, a lot of rugs, and I know that you're all interested. This is an Irish village. It's hooked by Georgia Prosser, and the designer is Pris Butler. Nice little Irish village. The next is Florida, and this is a really nice one. I can barely read the handwriting, so I'm going to zoom in down on it. Deborah Schrang, and it's a Nola Highbrighter pattern by her sister, and Deborah lives in Florida. So how nice is that? The next one is a primitive. Nice fall leaves. So this is really great. And it's called Farewell. It's by Jeannie Benjamin, one of our excellent teachers here. Jeannie is always here. And it was designed by her, hooked by her. Great leaves on that one. Hello from Nebraska. Hello from Arkansas. Hello from students in my class. The students that are in my class here at Caraway, you need to be hooking, not watching the podcast. Just kidding, girls. This is a great piece. This was hooked by Georgia Kimball, and it's based on, and I'm trying not to get the glare, although you can't see it with the glare. It's based on this photograph. Let me zoom it in. There's the photograph. This is Little Soldier Boy with Donna Herkman, and then here is the rug. In the back is Welcome Home. It was hooked by Avis Rickman. And look how great that sky looks and the monochromatic. All these pieces are just fabulous. And I did miss a piece in here. Okay, here we are. This is a great piece. And this was hooked by Sandy Dirksen. And here is a David Galchute hooked by Sybil Oseka. And I want to get in on some detail on this so you can see this. All right, I'm glad you're working. Glad you like the poppies, Deb. Suzanne, you guys better work. And you can see the detail in the Galchutes. Here is another called the Minstrels Galchute, hooked by Sybil Oseka. And I'll zoom in a little bit more so you can see the detail. I hope that everyone will enjoy these rugs by these wonderful artists. Here's Dragon. Okay, I'm going to spin around here. Yes, the floor is gray. I'm going to show some portraits that were done. And here we go. This was done by Jerry Dickerson. There we go, from pictures. How's that? These were all done by Jerry. Jerry's here from Salina, Texas. And here's one where she's holding the chicken. Okay, sorry if I'm juggling a little bit. I almost tripped on the wire. And there you go. I'm going to move down here to two pillows. And here we go. Here's the Blues Dog, hooked by Jeannie Vereen in her wonderful colors. And here is Winter Buddies. Whoops. Here is Winter Buddies with a nice little chickadee on it. And that was hooked by Carol Walker. And then here we have a rabbit and a carrot dimensional piece, hooked by Jolene Ruger. We even have a hobby horse. Whoops, sorry. Sorry about that. So here we have a hobby horse. I'm going to come into the hobby horse kind of close. I think that's really nice. All hooked. That's great for grandchildren. It's a great project. Wonderful piece. Hooked by Vicky Sajak. Wonderful piece. A few more pillows. Here's an owl, all done with nice bright dyed wool by Jolene. Here's a nice border collie, Maggie, done by Stevie Klein. Nice blue background. And then here is the picture of Maggie, the puppy itself. Next is Overload, kind of a pop piece, and it's framed. Somebody said they're losing the audio. I have the mic on, so I'm not sure why. And this is Overload by Tam Long. Yes, Blues Dog was a pattern by Rug Hooking Magazine. Thanks, Deb. All right. Here is Out for a Stroll by Tam Long. Now this is an interesting piece, and Tam is Tam, T-A-M, is teaching a mini workshop tonight on this from 6 to 8. No, we're not going to put it in, podcast it, but maybe next year. And how to mount your pieces differently. This is mounted on a map of Tennessee. These are all sights to see in Tennessee. So a different way to do your rugs. And here is a nice piece that has to be looked at a little bit from a distance. Beautiful piece. Nice colors. And I'm going to come in close now so you can see the colors and the direction of hooking. And this is by Natalie Titchman, called Spin-A-Line Landscape, and Wanda Kerr was her teacher. This is Dwight Yoakam, as you've never seen Dwight Yoakam before. It was hooked by Cass Ganaway. Okay? All right, Brenda, you can take a break from Caraway to watch it live. This is a vintage postcard. It is a wagon wheel in the snow, and it was hooked by Deb Lynch in memory of her mother. The birch trees that you see in the back, that was hooked with the magic birch tree wool. Here's another beautiful fall landscape. Very nice. I'm going to zoom in so you can see the trees and see how it is hooked with the grasses. Very nicely done. And this was done by Suzanne Sandvik. And step out and get to see the depth perception with it. Here is another beautifully framed piece. Covered bridge with a puppy dog. Look at that. Looks great. And this was just recently featured in the Atha magazine. It was hooked by Carol Snyder. Great job. Great job, too. Everybody's doing a great job with these. Now, look at this. Let's talk about seeing pink elephants. There's even a pink elephant at Caraway. And that was hooked by Vicky Sajak. And it's on hand-torn pieces. Deb, to answer your question, and I'll come back to that right now on Suzanne's rug. We're going to walk back for a minute. The sky was done in puzzle pieces, not higgly-piggly. Okay? So Suzanne's sky was done in the puzzle pieces, but not higgly-piggly. And I'll step back this way, where Carol did more of a linear effect to her sky. And Suzanne just said yes. Here are the dimensional corn. There we go, all hooked in textures, ready for fall. This is just a geometric piece, not just, but it's a geometric piece on a geometric board. And it's mounted onto the backing, and it was hooked by Tam Long. Cascanaway, little abstract, nice bright colors, mounted on a board. And then here is Natalie Titchman's bird in a graduated background. And there it is. It's a bird from her daughter's yard. This is a Susan Feller tree pattern, hooked by Natalie Titchman. Next we have, let me zoom in, with Brenda Reed, and Bandit is the puppy's name, hooked with Judy Carter. Excellent job, really captured Bandit's personality. This is Sarah Beth Black, and we have a joke because I did her name tag wrong. I did it as Sarah Black, but it's Sarah Beth Black. And this was a piece that she did for our Souter show last year. Beautiful piece, wonderful. Look at the waves. It's life's journey. And she has all little tags with all little sayings in there. Live in the moment. Enjoy the journey. Wonderful. Here we have, by Diane Chipman, a beautiful pillow. Now that's something that everybody should wake up to in the morning. It's happy, it's bright, and it makes you feel fine just to get up. Okay, we're going to move for a few minutes. Okay? And I'm going to come down this lane. And here we have a beautiful fish. Some of these I will not be able to read for a little bit, but we'll see if I can get that zoomed in. Nope, not too sure we can. I'll bend down and read it later. So then, from here, it's done by Phyllis Crochet. It's a trout fish. Okay. All you can eat. Wonderful. All You Can Heat by Deborah Schrang. Great. Above that, here we go, Sturbridge Village. This is Marilyn Barney, Crow and Pumpkin, getting ready for fall. And here is A Great Little Owl by Sandy Dirksen. Next we have a piece, Christopher Robin, Winnie the Pooh, done by Donna Herkman, who is one of our teachers this year. And as you can see, great job. Here we have a nice nautical piece, flamingo, parrot, turtle, fish, and that's being done, that was done by Jolene Ruger. Boy, we have a popular fish section here. Fish must have been popular last year here. This is a Sunday swim. They're all dressed up for Sunday with the treasure chest. This is Kathy Coart. Nice shells, nice background. Here's a blessed bee. Very nicely done. And that was hooked by Cynthia Sweeney. Here is a trout that, he's at Moss Lake, and it looks like he has a panoramic view of Moss Lake. Great background, hooked by Joan Ray. Here we go, some bright chickens. Chickens, turnips, and carrots with the Texas, looks like the Texas flag. Yes, it is. It's hooked by Jane Willard. Here is Pumpkin Harvest, hooked by Pat Murray. And here's a good favorite, the Three Bears, hooked by Jeannie Benjamin. We have crows and pumpkins in all sorts and shapes of colors. This was hooked by Maureen Ruger. Great green pumpkin, purple leaves, wonderful. This is a Sharon Smith pattern, Miss Rabbit, hooked by Nancy Schaefer. And then in the basket, added a little bit of Arctic Ray glitter to make the flowers pop. We're going to turn the corner here. And we're going to go to the William Morris rabbit. That is a William Morris rabbit. Great job, quilly eye. And look at that quilly eye. This was hooked by Maureen Ruger. And that is a quilled set eye. Great background. Wonderful job, wonderful job. Next, we have a lion. Nice leaves around the background. And that was hooked by Jane Willard. There we go. This is a Pennsylvania peacock. Great colors, great echoing, hooked by Jill Hicks. The next is the heron, hooked by Susan Bruno. There you go. Sky, sunrise or sunset, somebody tell me. Looks great. Next is Dragonfly Paradise. Wonderful jewel tones. Hooked by Judy Moss. Hares to You, a vintage postcard from W. Cushing, and it was hooked by Patty Wilson. Great background. Background is Higgly Piggly. Wonderful job done. It had pussy willows in it, and it was changed to berries. Looks wonderful. That's what you want to do. You want to personalize your own rugs. Here is a puppy dog in Leftover Worms with a square background, hooked by Jolene Ruger. Here is Hound Dog, hooked by Bev Conway, and a Bev Conway pattern. Bev Conway is one of our teachers here at Caraway, and that is one of her patterns. This is Crows in an Apple Tree. And the crows in an apple tree were hooked by Phyllis Crochet. So you can see that and all the colors used in the crows. Next, we have another David Galshute, Star Piper. And you can see all the details. And I'm going to zoom in here now, slowly. And hopefully it focuses. Right on the bunny. Great job. And for those that have seen the Star Piper, you know that there is a lot of carrots piled up. And in that lot of carrots, Joan gets kudos for hooking the carrots. And I'll show you a little bit more of that. I think one time we need to count all the carrots in this pattern. Great job. Great job. I'm going to walk to the next row. And here is Tulip Cross, hooked by Melissa Mckim. It's a great Emalulé pattern. Great mixing of the backgrounds. Wonderful. This is the Burnham Cornucopia. It's part of the Burnham collection. It's one of the Burnham rugs. This was hooked by Janice Alt last year here at Caraway. Say that quick. Last year here at Caraway. And I want to take a zoom in. The cornucopias were hooked in textures. And then the dyed wool was what we call a swatch bag, hooked higgly-piggly or puzzle pieces, and there's a lot of different movement and color in the background. This is updating an old piece with new colors. Next we move to Lancaster 4 Squared, hooked by Avis Rickman. Great job on the basket, the hearts, everything. Next is another old pattern, remade in nice new colors, and it's called Sparhawk. Okay, I'll kind of come out to it and up to it, and then I'm going to come on in. And this was hooked by Jan King. And the background is what's very interesting about this. We took a striped piece of wool and broke out the stripes. We cut it along the stripes, and then we hooked it in the stripes. So again, this is an old pattern with a new twist. This is Indian Boy by Donna Herkman. This is Steampunk Reverie by Donna Herkman. Lots of little gears added. Wonderful. Here is Mother Goose, hooked by Donna Herkman. I'm going to turn the corner again, so pardon me while I walk. Here we go. Here is Dawn, and that is Jolene Ruger's cat. Nice purple background. And it does look like Dawn because I happen to know Dawn, so great job. This is Nick at Night by Donna Herkman. Here is Live Oak, and it is a mighty oak tree, hooked by Deborah Vita. And can you notice, and this is not a shadow on the iPad, the shadow is hooked in the layers of green and how the brown goes up. I'm going to come down to this a little bit closer so everybody can see it. Puzzle pieces for the sky. Steampunk Michael with all the gears. And if this piece really looks familiar, it is the cover this month, these 2 months on Rug Hooking Magazine. And we actually have it here live. So this is the cover. There we go. And by the way, I want to thank Rug Hooking Magazine for allowing me to bring the rug show to all of you, and I hope that all of you are enjoying it. This is Tulips by Karen Witten. And look at that awesome, awesome background. Deb, you should come back. You've been here. You should be. It should be fun. This is called Karen by Suzanne Sandvik. We miss you coming, Deb. So, here we are. Look at the shading of the scrolls, the petals of the roses. Wonderful. This is Bunny and Poppies, and boy, these poppies pop. I'm glad you're liking the rug, Star. So here we go. This is by Bev Conway. It's hooked by Bev Conway in one of her patterns. Don't you just love that? Look at those poppies. And like I said, Bev teaches here, and you can get a class here with her if you'd like. This is On a Whim by Megan McKeown. We reached her out of her comfort zone, and she did a great job with all of this. And I like that in the leaves, the veins are all are purple, but they're all a different color purple. This is called Boston, and it was hooked by Pat Murray. And I want to zoom in on the pieces of this. And it is a great piece. Wonderful brown background. I just want you to know, Shirley Dillard is famous for her fudge. We did not get fudge this year, but that's okay. We're going to get it next year, so those coming, we're going to auction off her special fudge, and we might even share the recipe. Shirley did a great job. Look at all the purples in the background. All the purples in the background. Really sets the flowers off beautifully. Okay, I'm going to walk down. We only have 2 more rows to go. Okay, and then if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. This was designed off an antique rug. I'm going to come and focus it down. This was designed by Jeannie Benjamin and hooked by Jeannie Benjamin. This is Chi-Chi. This is an Oriental. This was hooked by Michelle Emanuel. And I want to really get down into this. Look at all the details. Look at how it's bound, with just like that. Look at the fringe on the edge. Wonderful job. Wonderful job. A lot of work in this rug. But all the finishing techniques, everything just really wonderful. This is Shalimar. This is a Joan Moshimer pattern. It happens to be the ad in Rug Hooking Magazine this month. So, this actually has hooked fringe. And yes, the original rug pattern had hooked fringe. And I'm going to come down and let you see the hooked fringe. Nice background. Great colors. And again, an update to an old pattern. Isn't that wonderful? Next is a Botanical Rickrack Rug, and I'm going to stand down the end so you can see it or try and get it in. This was hooked by Eric Sandberg. It is the Rickrack Rug, but he's added botanical leaves into it, and you cannot have vertigo and look at this rug, because you will get vertigo if you look at this rug. But it is the Rickrack Rug. He has a straight line border on it, and he's added the nautical leaves. It's one of the largest rickrack rugs I've ever seen. And many of us have seen the rickracks. I'm going to come right over here into the corner And I'm going to come down so you can see that. There we are. Continuing down, we have another great pattern hooked by Jan King. And this is called Slav, S-L-A-V. And it's done in lovely muted colors, but a brighter palette than the original. And it just shows you how you can take these patterns and make them your own. Jan did a great job. And I want to show you the border up the top, using textures with the little birds. Turned out just beautiful. Now we're going to go to, this has no name. This was just done by scraps. Jan King did this one also. It was designed by Jan. And isn't this a great use of your scraps? Look at that. It's a fun rug. You know, it won't show the dirt too much. And I want to circle in on her background a little bit, because her background there, she did an echo, then filled in with puzzle pieces. So while it's a light background, she used the direction of her hooking. Wonderful job. Okay, here we go. This is a mosaic, and Jolene Ruger loves her bright colors, and it's a mosaic done in bright colors. This is a small oriental hooked by Martha Ware. Love the soft golds. Everything is just wonderful in it. This is Forget-Me-Not, done by Marge Scarlata. I always say her name wrong. Sorry, Marge. You can go by your Facebook name, Divine. Wonderful. You can just see them looking out at the sunset. This is called Hedwig, and this was hooked by Brenda Reed. Wonderful use of blues and golds. I love the way that this looks. It's coming out a little bit lighter than it is in person on my screen. It's a wonderful piece, wonderfully done, using just a few colors. And I'm going to step back from it so you can get the whole look. Next, we have Hearts by Jolene Ruger, just like Candy Hearts. Here is Kathleen, hooked by Georgia Prosser. And look at the nice scrolls. Look at the beautiful shading in there. This is New England Twist. This is New England Twist. New England Twist in just shades of blue and gold. Hooked by Nancy Schaefer. And we've seen New England Twist done in so many different ways. And this is just done in blues, and it looks great. Light, dark, and medium blue. Shows you that New England Twist can be done in any color wave. Here is the small frost oriental. You've seen a few of these posted on Facebook. This is a wide cut oriental, and this was done by Karen Preston. And I'm going to try to get this down so you can see. It's a combination of textured and dyed wool. So I'm going to round the corner again and not get my mic underneath me. All right, here we go. This is Art Deco, hooked by Deborah Vita. And she's used brown on the inside in a swatch bag and purples on the outside. And it's a really nice effect. And here's another favorite called Why Work? This is all done in texture. This was not done in shading, but using two textures and a texture background. Next we have Stripes by Elizabeth Morgan. Here is an antique coverlet hooked by Nancy Parcells. I'm going to step back and then I'll zoom in. That is the coverlet piece, and then I'm going to zoom in on it. Next is Comstock, hooked by Jeannie Benjamin. And I want to show you all the colors in here. This is Salin Round. This is an abstract from a sculpture by Merrill Stalin, hooked by Delane Miller. And if you ever wanted to see puzzle pieces in a background, this is a great way to look at it. Sandy, I'm glad that you like seeing the rug. All the rugs. I'm glad you like them. There we are. This is called Paisley Borders. And that is hooked by Jeannie Benjamin. And I'm going to try and come down so you can see them all. Here is an antique coverlet in red, hooked by Avis Rickman. And we only have a few more left. Here is another antique coverlet, hooked by Brenda Reed. I'm going to zoom in here too so you can see the blues. And here is a primitive Oriental done by Marilyn Lauder. There you are. Last one is another mosaic, hooked by Joe. I am going to walk around one more time, not talk about the rugs or show them, but for those that joined late, I'm just going to go back through one more time, and then we can just say, if you have any questions, you can ask away. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to pan through them and just sit a little bit at each one. So if anybody has any questions, great time to ask. But we really hope you enjoyed being a part of our rug show, even though you couldn't come. You guys are all welcome. Thanks, Vicki. Thanks, Donna. The pillow edge was done in prodied edge. Amzie, thanks for watching. Thanks for your compliments. Hope to see you sometime, girl. No problem, Nancy. Glad you could join in. Oh, and I forgot one. See, it pays to come back around again. We forgot one. So those that are still tuned in, here we go. It was behind me. There's two. This is the Wendell Eagle. This is an older pattern, hooked by Carol Walker, and it is one of the Cushing patterns. And all of these scrolls were done with textures. So that is the Wendell Eagle, and Veterans Day by Donna Herkman. So you see, going back around, but there is the Wendell Eagle with a nice navy blue background in different colors. The background is actually a texture. No problem, Nancy. Glad you enjoyed it. You know what, ladies? I think I missed a row. And I did miss a row. Thought we did. So I'm going to zoom down this row, and then we're going to talk about the last row. So, we still have about 20 more rugs to talk about. Good for those who stayed on. They snuck a row in on me. Here is a rug, American Barn, by Georgia Prosser. And can you see how the American flag is in the back? What a great job. I Spy by Avis Rickman. Yellow Camp by Pam Landry. Now this was just featured on Facebook, and a lot of you have looked at it on the other pages, but here it is in person, lucky us. Jenny Adcock Doyley. Here is Pumpkin Lane by Kay Stefanik, number 10, Pumpkin Lane. Wonderful fall piece. Great job. Okay. This is Oktoberfest by Kathy Cowart. And To All a Good Night, and that was hooked by Betsy Sarver. And here's a Pumpkin Chair Seat by Jolene Ruger. This is Zen number 4, hooked by Diane Chipman. Floral Basket by Maureen Ruger. Birds and Flowers by Sue Walker. Folk Flower Basket by Laura Strong. This is a large coral hooked by Karen Witten, and I'm going to step back, then zoom in so you can see it. Then I'm going to let you come on in and see the little pieces of it. Look at a great job. Here's our next piece, Diamond Flowers by Natalie Titchman. This is Rebecca's Floral by Avis Rickman. Another old pattern and redone in a beautiful form. This is French Box Spiral by Patty Wilson. Now we have 2 postcards, vintage postcards, 4th of July postcards. This one was hooked by Sarah Sue Walker, and I'll come over it, then I'll come onto it, on top of it. And this one was hooked by Lynn Priest. Then I'm going to show them together because everybody's color palette's a little different. They're both wonderful. Look at the flow of the flag. This is another David Galchute. It's The Witch. Ready for Halloween, bats and all. She's scaring the moon. Hooked by Janice Alt. Another vintage Thanksgiving postcard. Hooked by Sandy Dirksen. This was hooked by Joyce McHenry, and it is a snowman with a bunny. Mr. Bones, hooked by Jolene Ruger. Here is Wool Street. Don't we all wish we had a Wool Street? Hooked by Kay Stefanik. And this is Birdhouses, hooked by Karen Witten. And this is great with all her lettering. You can read her lettering. And then we have the Eiffel Tower, hooked by Janice Alt. So that concludes our show. I hope that you had a great time. I hope that you enjoyed seeing it. If you have any questions, I'll give you a few minutes to ask. If not, we'll post the video. And all the girls are busy working in their classrooms, and the gentlemen, they're busy working to complete their rugs for next year. So hopefully you can join us, or you can join us via podcast next year. So I want to thank everybody for coming and watching and being a part of the podcast. I hope you all have a great week, and we'll see you next month. Thanks, everybody.